Today we're going to be installing a 12 volt system into our MUX. So to date, whenever we've gone away for the day, whenever we've gone away for the weekend, we've been using this King's 24 amp hour battery pack to power our fridge. Now it does alright, but one of the challenges that we have is that we get about a day's worth of charge out of it, normal usage throughout the day or day and a half, and it's really difficult to charge this up from the car while we're also running the fridge. It just doesn't keep up. And so what we are going to be doing is installing a Kickass 12 volt system into the MUX. The Kickass system that we've gone with is the 120 amp hour battery, the slimline one, 40 amp hour DCDC. We've got an AC/DC for when we're at home and want to charge the car up before we head off if it's not fully charged. 700 watt inverter. We've got a control box. It's got a monitoring screen on it, a couple of Andersons, a couple of cigarette lighter plugs, USBs, a really easy way for us to plug in different appliances or different things that we have really easily. A cradle for the battery, and a whole lot of wiring in these other boxes that we have here. So really looking forward to being able to put this in the car. So the reason why we've gone for the Kickass system, a couple of different reasons. One, it's pretty reasonably well priced, decent reviews, decent quality, and it has a built-in battery monitoring system. So instead of having to run a shunt like the Victron shunt, which means that we have to run all of our negatives to that and can sometimes add some extra complications, all of that's built into the battery. So pay a little bit more of a premium for that system to be built into the battery, but it will just simplify my wiring a whole heap. And then for everything else, like I figured made sense to get everything from the one place. Could have very easily done a mix and match system, but there wasn't really a whole lot of other benefits to getting some like King stuff or some Red Arc stuff. I thought I'd keep with the one system, make it really simple, and that way I can sort of just all plug it in and away I go. Now the plan is, in the back of the MUX there's actually a grommet, or a grommet hole, behind the ventilation, one of the filter panels. So I've bought a packet of grommets from Super Cheap Auto, and I'll install one of those in there, and I'm going to run the cabling from the battery all the way through the boot and through this grommet here. Now the way that we're going to be going about this is that we have our starter battery, we have our secondary battery. Now between the two, from the engine bay to the cabin, there's going to be a run that has our positive, our neutral, and also our ignition wire in it. Because the ignition wire is actually built into the cabling kit, this fuse is actually going to end up running up to the engine bay and be fused in the engine bay. But it has a 3-pin Anderson connector on the end of the wiring kit that'll plug straight into our DC-DC converter. Now on the output side of our DC-DC, we'll have another 80 amp MIDI fuse. It's the same as the one that's under the engine bay. And then we'll go on to our lithium battery. Now from our lithium battery, we'll have another 80 amp MIDI fuse before our bus bar, which has 3 fuses in it, 3 50s. One to be able to run our compressor, oven and fridge. However, our oven and fridge will be going through the control box, and the third 50 amp fuse will be for our inverter as well. Everything will go through a bus bar for the negatives, and then a single negative wire to the battery. Now the DC-DC input and then the output, they will have their own runs of cable to the battery, so we don't need to double the size of the cabling here. But everything in this system is going to be run as 6 gauge or 6 BNS or 6 AWG, whichever measurement unit that you want to use. It's going to be 6 of that. So the good news is, after lots of effort, Natalie was able to come out and give me a hand. Well, actually she was the one who got the cable and the grommet to sit in there properly. And it's getting dark, and getting late, so I'm going to call it a night. For now, I just have the cable coiled up here. I ended up undoing the mud flap and the inner guard here so I could get my hand in there and help pull through the cable and get that grommet to seat nicely. It's been one of those seemingly simple jobs that takes a long time. Probably at it for about an hour, hour and a half to get it through. So done for the night, and we'll come back tomorrow morning. And we're back for day 2 working on the 12-volt system. I have the cable running all the way into the back of the garage, and what I'm going to do is that I've bought some 20mm, the 16mm, that doesn't fit. I bought the 20mm corrugated split tube, and I'm going to put that onto the cable to add a bit of protection. Though everything is already double insulated, it will just help out that little bit more. So I'm going to put that on. I'll slide it up into the car as much as I possibly can, and then tape it and pull the cable through to the engine bay. Hopefully, we'll see. Okay, we now have the split tubing on all of the cabling to go to the front of the car. Now will be the fun part, the part that I hate, is actually getting up underneath there and pulling it all through. So the idea is that I'll run it across the top of the chassis and try and get it to run along with all of this other cabling for the tow bar and the brake controller and everything else that's already here. So that way it all looks factory, and I'll cable tie it to it all. I'm not going to tape it, that'll be too hard. So let's get under there and give it a go. And we're finally through. It took a little bit of effort, and I've still got to cable tie it all back up again, but it's in here and I can now work on doing the next bits. So some good news. Finally, after ages crawling around underneath the car, and apologies for dirty interior, but we have our 12-volt line running into the car. There's not too much to go really now. The only thing that's pending is that I didn't have a micro fuse holder to tap into one of the existing circuits to trigger the ignition. So that cable is just sort of tied up at the moment and left under the engine bay. I'll have to order one of those in. I went to Autobarn and they didn't have one. So once that's in, it'll be pretty easy to get that all hooked up, and we should be good. But otherwise, I've tested with the multimeter, and I've got 12 volt at the Anderson connector in the rear, so I'm really happy with that. It's night time now. I've got to go away for work up to Sydney again this week, so won't touch it again until next weekend, but yeah, we'll call it a day. So I'm back out here for another weekend of working on the fridge box and our 12 volt system, and today I'm going to start getting everything mounted up to the fridge box, starting with the battery tray. So the general idea is that the battery will go on the box here, and then all on the back of here will go things like our DCDC charger, our bus bars and fuses. The inverter will go somewhere. I'll have some connectors that run down to the front of the box, but we're going to sort of plan it out as I go along the way. I've got a bit of an idea. I might make up a sort of false panel that sits on the back of here that all of the wiring gets a little bit hidden under, but I'll wait and see how I go with all of that before I start to do that. But I've got all enough supplies to do what I need to in a few different ways should I need to. So let's get into it. After a bit of mocking up here on the table, I think I've been able to replicate what's on my diagram, which is over here, but just giving myself more of an idea of what it will look like with the actual components. So I've been able to get myself some of these Bussmann fuse holders, and there's a bus bar that will go between 3 or 4 of these holders. These ones hold fuse, this is the main one in, and these two are individually fused between the DCDC charging into the battery and then from the battery out to these bus bars here. And there we go, it's powered on for the first time. I've just connected one of our fridges, a little 20 litre King's fridge, to see that everything is working, and so far, so good. So the DC-DC charge is plugged in for the first time, and we are putting 35 amps in the battery. I've got my little fridge in here pulling about 5 amps or 4 and a bit amps to cool itself down. But so far, everything's working pretty well. Managed to finish off getting my isolation switch all hooked up and the wiring all sort of finished up. It's not quite as neat as I'd hoped, but it'll all be hidden behind the seat once that all goes back into the car.